Hello there, and welcome to Emerging Mothers Meetup. I am so excited you've decided to join me this evening. Thank you very much on this Thanksgiving, if you will, week. Listen, I have been getting a question time and time again, and that question has been, how do you manage the interactions between yourself and your teen before they transition out of the home? And that's what I'd like to talk about this evening. My name is Dr. Michelle Lloyd, and so I head up Lloyd Learning Labs. We support mothers with anxiety as it relates to their teens transitioning into adults and then transitioning out of the home. So I'm so excited that you've decided to join me. The way I handle this is three different ways in reference to teens, interacting with these teens prior to them transitioning out of the home. And they can be heading off to college, they can be heading off to the military, or simply residential independence. You still want to have that bond there. So relationship management is what I encourage mothers to do. We know that relationship management, it has to do with the ability to build bonds between themselves and others. In the midst of those interactions and building those bonds, of course, there's all type of growth and development that takes place. There's communication that occurs. Of course, there's conflict resolution. There's change that takes place between you as a mother and your son, or you and your daughter. Of course, you're inspiring, you're encouraging, you're motivating, you're influencing them to make sure that they're making the best decision possible. So that is what I do. I focus on relationship management and the three steps that I make sure I include, of course, even with my daughters. And I have two daughters, my two daughters who are in college out of my three that I have total. I have an 8th grader. And so both of my older daughters, they will graduate next year. And so we could not be more excited about them and their success and what they will be doing next. So now that I've talked about relationship management, the first step that I take, of course, and that I encourage mothers to pursue when they are preparing their son or their daughter prior to them transitioning out of the home, is I encourage them to communicate and or converse with candor. It's so important because there's all types of planning that need to take place prior to them transitioning out of the home. And as you're sitting down and you're talking with them and going throughout the weeks and out throughout the months, it's important that a schedule is put into place, and a schedule is analyzed with you and your teen, whether that's them making sure that in a timely manner they're visiting with their college counselor, if they're needing to maybe solidify those dates in reference to their ACT, their SAT, also updating, of course, the NCAA, the eligibility website. My daughters play sports. All three of them play sports. And so we need to make sure that we input information on that NCAA eligibility website to make sure that the college coaches and those individuals were able to take a peek at them and to know all about them. Making sure that they connected with their references, was open and honest with them in reference to that, and making sure that, they had meaningful dialogues between themselves and these other individuals, these teachers who they wanted to be their references. So make sure that took place in addition to them giving them gifts after they wrote those reference letters. Making sure that they manage their community service hours. That's critical, to make sure that those documents were signed, that they were at the nursing homes, they were reading to those who were illiterate, they were helping the elderly in their front yards, they were even helping students in reference to maybe counting school supplies or making sure that they had Christmas gifts, sorting Christmas gifts at a local church that we have here in Texas. Also making sure that I communicated with candor in reference to them cleaning up their social media pages, not only their actions or pictures, but also their conversations as well, are totally crucial to their to their future, whether it was the college coaches or whether it was the admissions counselors who needed to see what this student was all about, because of course the universities, they're looking to maintain a clean reputation as well. It's almost like they put a stamp on you, and they want to make sure that who they bring in, who they admit, that they are top-notch students. And so of course, as just a recap, making sure that before the teen is leaving the home, that relationship management, that's solidified. You're interacting properly with your son or with your daughter before they leave the house. And then the 3 tips, of course, the first one is conversing with candor. And secondly, is making sure that you're enjoying the journey. There are going to be some stressful times. There are going to be some times where you're filled with anxiety, in reference to making sure that they have all of what they need prior to them transitioning, of course, either on the college campus or transitioning out of the home to the military base, or again, residential independence, making sure that they have all of what they need before they leave. You're enjoying the journey throughout it all. So, taking intermittent breaks and, just going out for ice cream, or maybe, there are some days where we didn't even talk about college or transitioning out of the home, to make sure we were taking a brain break. Having walks along the lake, what my daughters and I used to do. Making sure that we started practicing what it would be like in order to have social media suppers or screen time suppers. Some people call them digital dinners, because when they transitioned out of the home and landed on the college campus, we wanted to make sure we still kept that bond. And so enjoy the journey, please. So first and foremost, converse, or some say communicate with candor. Secondly, enjoy the journey. And then last but not least, that third tip would be to research with end results in mind. When I say that, I think about when a presidential candidate is putting together his team before they start campaigning. They're making plans, and that presidential candidate, he is planning for the long haul. He is planning for all 8 years. I think about that. And so when your son or when your daughter is making plans prior to them transitioning out of the home and again onto the college campus, the military base, or residential independence, we planned for all the way from their freshman year all the way to them landing their dream job. And I say that because I take my oldest daughter out of my 3 daughters as an example. When we sat down before she transitioned onto the college campus, we thought about her freshman year all the way until she landed her dream job. So we thought about, of course, what she would major in. She loved math and science, so she majored in engineering. Of course, it was a total challenge, but to make a long story short, we planned those classes in addition to her academic advisor on campus. She will be graduating in May. This past summer, before her senior year, of course, she interned with UPS in Seattle. Even though we're in Texas, we drove those 35 hours so that she can have a car there, so that she can work and practice this adulting, which she will be adulting after her senior year. So, and then we flew back, and it was time for us to go get the car. We flew there back to Seattle and drove the car back as she flew then back to, of course, where she's attending school now, which is at Virginia Tech. And so now that she has landed her dream job, because of course we planned out earlier on before her freshman year that when she entered into her senior year, we would spend time on Sundays. She would create a drive where she would look into applying to 10 companies every single Sunday until she landed something. And so now that she has landed a position with Lockheed Martin, and we could not be more proud of her. But I say this to encourage you, to inspire you, that as you're sitting down having these conversations or communicating with candor and enjoying the journey, that you research for end results. You think about, even as you're thinking with your teen thinking outside of their comfort zone, what this journey looks like for them. I encourage you to plan from freshman year all the way until they land their career job, their dream job. What all of this looks like. That way, although there may be some stressors along the way, you may sense maybe just a little bit of anxiety here and there along the way. There's not this massive downward spiral in reference to the interactions and the communication and the bonding that you and your son or you and your daughter will have as time progresses. So I encourage that you again, as a recap, that relationship management is key. So please keep that first and foremost, that you're interacting and that you're bonding. There will be some times, as mentioned at the very beginning of this talk, that you will vacillate between emotions. You look at your calendar and say, oh my goodness, that date is quickly approaching in reference to my son or my daughter leaving college. And then on the other hand, you will wonder, who is this person that's living in my home who's maybe talking to me that kind of way, or they're, a little short with me, or, I'm sensing that they're experiencing more stress than usual, and you're ready to usher them out of your front door right here, right now. You have got to go because you are this totally different person. So as you're bonding through this time, just cherish those moments because it all seems to work out. Of course, my oldest daughter, she will be graduating in May. My second daughter, she's away on the college campus as well, a different college campus, but she will be graduating next December, studying for the MCAT right now so that she can then begin interviewing to pursue the medicine field, medical school after she graduates undergrad. And then, of course, again, I have my 8th grader. So I will be going through with some of you this whole separation again once my youngest daughter reaches her senior year. So listen, mothers, I encourage you to do this. Look us up. We are Emerging Mothers on Facebook. We're with Lloyd Learning Labs. These are the types of conversations we have. We welcome you. Please join us. Also, drop in the comment section or even on that Facebook page the types of questions that you have or the types of conversations you'd like to have. I'd like to address them for you. I have just absolutely loved this transitional period because it just seems to get better and better. Not that, my sons are, or better yet, I have 3 daughters, no sons, but not that you enjoy your son or your daughter going off, but it helps it to be more manageable emotionally. When my first daughter went off, did I have any strategies or tips to use when that happened in 2016? I did not. We drove her to Virginia Tech. We returned back here to Texas, and I found myself on my prayer closet floor. Was I crying? No. Was I weeping? No. I was actually wailing, thinking, what in the world have I just done after driving my daughter all the way across these United States to Virginia? And then here it is, I'm back here in Texas. But nonetheless, these are some tips. These are some strategies that you can use. Again, join our Facebook page, our Facebook group. We'd love to have you. Drop us some comments. Drop us some questions. We will address them. Enjoy this holiday season. Of course, mask up, be safe, and be blessed. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.